any disabled persons or different able persons to come and enjoy the new facility here.
There is only one floating wheelchair at the Heritage Park, but there are plans to acquire another. It costs only $100 per half hour to use this new equipment. You can make reservations by calling 639-0601, or you can send an email to contact@pigeonpoint.tt. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
So in this next story, you're going to meet a young Tobagonian man. He's 22 years old. He's from Mount St. George, Tobago. His passions include journalism, crisis management, public speaking, youth activism, and many, 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 many more. He is Luke James Trim, and he has recently been appointed as the CARICOM Youth Ambassador from Tobago. Welcome to our set, Luke.
Thank you for having me, and we're chatting with Luke James Trim, CARICOM Youth Ambassador for the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. Now, Luke, I remember you from your days at Hope Anglican Primary School. I was a reporter then, and you were the top male SEA student in Tobago. Yes. So you've always been destined for greatness. So I started with that, but can you tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Well, I've always been the type of person that's been passionate about becoming the best version of myself. And I also wanted to apply that level of care to young people here in Tobago. So like you said, I got involved in many, many, many things. And I always wanted to bring young people up with me, because I was always of the belief that while people always obsess about networking up the board, getting to know those at the top, I always love to network across the board so that the young people that look like me, the young people that are beside me, they can also achieve success.
Okay. And viewers, the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program aims to deepen the levels of youth participation in regional integration and national development. Now, Luke, tell our viewers about the selection process to become a CARICOM Youth Ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago.
So the selection process was very, very vigorous. Even on the digital form, they asked for a lot. They really wanted to know you, because at the end of the day, you're now going to be representing young people on a regional, national, and international scale. So I sent in my digital application, and I most likely forgot about it. Then I got a call and they were telling me, okay, we want to have an interview with you at the Division of Community Development. Now, when I entered, it was a panel and they started asking the questions. And what I noted about the interview process is that they really tested your level of knowledge about the youth space. Someone would have probably thought they're going to come and ask you about what's CARICOM and all those stuff, but no. They wanted to see how in tune you were with the issues happening in the youth space here in Tobago, in Trinidad, and in the region. So yes, the interview process, it was it's something that really lets you know that you have to be in the know. If you want to represent people, you need to know what is going on, what is happening. And I enjoyed it, and I was shocked to find out that I was successful.
Okay, and why now?
Why now? That's an interesting question. People always ask why now, and I always say why not now? Because this is the opportunity where young people have to get active. This is the opportunity where we see so many youths being marginalized. We see our young boys, they are getting into crime, or young girls, they are dropping out of school because of teenage pregnancy or problems at home. I think too often we are realizing that young people are now becoming a statistic. There's this huge issue of youth tokenism here in Trinidad and Tobago, where young people, where it may seem that we have an opportunity, that we have a seat at the table, we aren't really building that meaningful connections with the older heads, and our voices are not really being heard. So from young, I've always been told, what, Luke, one of these days I'm not going to get you into trouble, because I was always a rebel from small. I was always advocating for others. I was always standing up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. So when I saw the opportunity that I can become a CARICOM Youth Ambassador, I said, okay, Luke, this is your opportunity to keep doing what you've been doing.
And you talked about advocating for others. You're currently a law student.
Yes,
you didn't tell us that. Tell us about that journey so far.
Well, shockingly, I always wanted to be a doctor. From sixth form, it's always been doctor. Both my sisters are doctors. So my parents thought that, okay, let's get a third one. But I remember in sixth form, I got into the Tobago Day debates, and I debated. I would have advocated for those students at Scarborough Secondary School to have their school repaired. I would have also advocated that as young people, that we are not just left on the wayside. I would have spoke about the issues of doctors having to be unemployed after their internship. And from that experience, I said, you know what, maybe I should get into something a bit more diplomatic. So then I started researching and realized that maybe a career flow would be for me. So after sixth form, I would have done my certificate in criminology at UWI Open Campus, and we had a mock trial competition where I had to act as a defense lawyer, where I defended another person that was marginalized in society, a Venezuelan. And from that case, when I won, I said, okay, look, this is for me. And from that, I said, I want to be a lawyer.
Okay. Were you involved in any youth groups before, or are you involved in any youth groups at the moment?
Well, I've been involved in the Youth Arm on Tobago updates. Currently at the Tobago Youth Council, I'm the project lead, where I get to work along some dynamic people like Janie Campbell. You know, she's the education officer, so we work hand in hand. Also, I am now the incoming vice president for international external affairs and partnerships in the Trinidad and Tobago Youth Ambassadors. So I've been involved. Also, when it comes to youth groups, I've always been the background character when it comes to these youth groups. Sometimes people will come to me for advice. Sometimes when they have an issue or a crisis that they need some advice, and I would help them. And I always like to encourage young people that, you know, visibility does not equate to success. I think there's this issue here in the Tobago space where our youth leaders, they will post the long captions on Facebook to make it seem like they're doing the work, when in actuality, not much is being done on their part. So I always encourage young people, don't be afraid to just fall back. Don't be afraid to go to war with the man or the woman in the mirror and try to unlock new levels within yourself, and let your success, let your work do the speaking for you.
Right. And as CARICOM Youth Ambassador for the term 2023 to 2025, do you have any projects in mind that you'd like to educate young people on?
Yes, I have projects I would like to educate people on. Me alongside my other ambassador, that's Ms. Samantha Ramprasad. I think we will be focusing on climate change. Also, we would like to educate our young people about HIV and AIDS, and probably STIs also. Because I think in the Tobago space especially, getting an STI has been too normalized. You know, they just say, oh, well, I just take a pill for it and, you know, go back and fall back into the same destructive behavior that got them there in the first place. So climate change, HIV and AIDS, also continuing to represent those marginalized. I have some interesting work I like to do with migrant kids. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you all will see, you all will be updated, and those are some of the projects we'll be executing.
Okay. Where do you think Luke will be in the next 5 years?
Well, I can't tell the future, but what I can tell you in the next 5 years, I see myself standing with those who are marginalized and just advocating for them. I see myself in the middle of protests. I see myself trying my best to reshape our laws in Trinidad and Tobago. I think we are supposed to be a pluralistic societies, but we still have many communities here who are still not being represented, especially in our legal system. So that would be my first work in 5 years. I hope that in the next 5 years, I can also be a mentor for the other CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, those who will succeed me, those who would like to get into diplomacy and advocating. That is where I see myself in 5 years.
Okay, and we've gotten to know the professional side of Luke James Strim. Tell us, what are your hobbies? My
hobbies, definitely going and hang out in the Crown Point area. You know, this is where I'm from. This is where my family originates. So sometimes you'll catch me on the beach, you'll catch me at up top. I love a good movie, so I love doing movie dates with my friends, because being this busy, sometimes I don't have all the time to really connect with them. So I use these mediums as opportunities to connect with my friends, to catch up with my friends and let them know, okay, this is what's happening. I also use them as opportunity to get to know my friends better, because sometimes I'll be so busy, so much has happened in my friends' life. Sometimes I have to reintroduce myself and they have to reintroduce themselves to me. So I love a good time. I love living life. I love enjoying life. I love trying new things. So besides the professional side, that's what I like to do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Luke, for being here with us. On behalf of all of us at the Let's Talk Tobago team, we wish you all the best in all of your endeavors.
Thank you so much, Daria.
You're welcome. At this point, we have to take a break, but we'll be right back with more stories. Stay with us. Villa Orizia is a spacious, well-kept modern villa located in the highly coveted Bonacore development of Tobago. This stunning property boasts 4 large bedrooms, each with its own lavish ensuite bathroom, providing an unparalleled level of comfort and privacy for guests. The kitchen is fully equipped with appliances and everything you need to prepare delicious meals for your family and friends. The outdoor area of Villa Orizia is truly magnificent, featuring a sparkling swimming pool surrounded by comfortable lounges and a shaded terrace area. This is the perfect place to relax and soak up the sun or enjoy a refreshing dip in the pool. Overall, Villa Orizia is the ultimate vacation villa, offering the perfect combination of style, comfort, and privacy. Coming up next, we take you to a different side of healthcare. They certainly didn't wear scrubs or PPE. They were dressed in fancy East Indian and African-inspired outfits as the Tobago Regional Health Authority appreciated its hardworking staff. Take a look at this story from Amadara Mills.
More than 100 TRHA workers were awarded for their provision of exceptional quality care in our health sector. Celebrating our heritage, harnessing the power of our purpose was the theme. Staff members got recognition in areas such as leadership, pandemic superheroes, and long service.
We want to take a moment on behalf of the board to express our deep appreciation for the dedicated individuals who form the backbone of our health institution on the island of Tobago. These professionals, nurses, support staff, all of these people working as one unit come together to deliver, in no small measure, the healthcare for an entire island, an entire people.
I know the last couple of years have been very difficult. COVID reminded us that everything that we thought we knew was not necessarily true, and it could have been taken away just like that. But you were one of the few entities that did not have the luxury of being home and being afraid and staying away from it all. We asked you to run head first into the madness. And you did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. And for that, this island is eternally thankful.
I know so many of you have made your professions lifetime professions. So many of you, after hours, offer care, private care to citizens as well. And so many of you get creative in finding solutions for the medical problems we have on the island. As a small island, we depend on you to insulate us from the outside world. We depend on you to ensure that we keep healthy and safe. And so I hope that we find a way to get the rest of Tobago to listen to you all, me included.
TRHA's Staff Recognition and Quality Awards ceremony took place at the Show Park Complex. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Think food, think water, think life, think health. Guessed it yet? World Food Day 2023 is here, and the Show Park Food Hub was the place to be for the media launch. We have more from Patricia Nicholson Richards in this story.
The Charlottesville Heritage performers as they danced the cocoa at the World Food Day media launch.
As we herald the World Food Day activities in Tobago, we hope to better educate and empower persons interested and involved in food production. We intend to make the division and its myriad services more visible and accessible and strengthen partnerships for agriculture revitalization. Through our World Food Day activities, we will facilitate increased stakeholder engagement and provide promotion opportunities for food producers and processors.
The two-day exhibition is scheduled for 18th to 19th October, but there are a number of events leading up to the exhibitions and afterwards.
There will be a World Food Day spoken word and poetry competition for schools. There'll be the Blue Ribbon Livestock competition, of course. A new housing design competition for livestock, where farmers will be asked to submit designs for houses, and the houses should be innovative, including new technology and specifically designed for the tropical environment. We'll also have a woman and junior farmer livestock video essay competition, where farmers in those categories, 18 to 30-year-old or women farmers, describe the challenges that they've had in choosing livestock agriculture, how they overcame those challenges, and why they have the passion for livestock agriculture.
The calendar of events also includes the inaugural Tobago Lamb Festival, a farmers' green market to be held in Tobago East and West, a horticulture show, and a 4-H gardening competition. Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel wants Tobagonians to think about the resources we have and what we can produce with them.
For us to really be food secure, we need to rethink how we treat with food, how we treat with water, how we treat with the chemicals that are available to us, how we treat with the production, as in the agri-processing of the food, how we treat with all of that.
This year's World Food Day theme is Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. Mark your calendars and be sure to attend as many events as you can. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
And that's how we end this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Thank you so much for joining us as always. On behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, do have a safe, productive, and a fantastic week. Remember to follow us on all of our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm Davia Chambers, and we'll see you again next week.
a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. As we say, it's Friday, the 22nd of September, 2023. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet, and this morning we want to say good morning to each and every one of you, those of you joining us within Tobago, those of you across the waters in Trinidad, those within the region and the world at large on the outside continuing to connect with us. We want to say good morning to each and every one of you. The weather here in Tobago today, a little rainy, however, nonetheless, we are very grateful. Anyone would know that this is my kind of weather. It's pretty cool, calm on the outside, slight drizzles. But this is my kind of weather, keeping things as cool as possible. It's Friday. It's the end of the work week. It's the last day of the work week. Some persons look forward to this day as we head on in to the weekend period. And in fact, this is one of those kind of weekends. It's the Republic Day weekend celebration where we celebrate our Republican status as Trinidad and Tobago. Viewers, at this point, we prepare to head on into our birthday shout-out segments, and that's sponsored by KFC.
This is your birthday shout-outs on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
And we get started this morning with the birthday shout-outs. And first we have Dexter Bobu Matthew. Good morning and happy birthday. Birthday blessings going out to Dexter Matthew this morning. On screen, we have Susie Daniel Nero, aka Auntie Susie, and this is coming from the Roxborough Open Bible family. Continued love and blessings. This is a birthday shout out to Mr. Bill Brong, and this is from the Richardson family and the Gideon's Tobago chapter. Wishing you a happy birthday, Mr. Bill Brong. It's coming from Rhea Richardson George and the entire Richardson family. And this is Lakita Kalinda, and this is coming from Sister DeRosa Kennedy. Lots of love for you in this new season. Trust that you continue to enjoy the birthday celebrations. And I see on screen birthday greetings, and this is going out to O'Shea George, and this is coming from Mom Rhea Richardson George and Dad Oswald George, your siblings, grandparents, uncles, aunties. We know that you're going to be celebrating this weekend, so most certainly coming out from your mom, your dad, the entire family, and also from us here at Tobago Updates, wishing you a happy birthday. You're getting advanced birthday greetings.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
All right, that was our birthday shout-out segment there this morning. And at this point, we're preparing to head on into Tobago in Focus. But just before we go there, this morning we'll be having discussions with Max James, Industrial Relations Consultant, and we'll be chatting on the current TADCO issue taking place. We'll also be chatting with Aisha McKnight, coordinator of the Drive-Through Prayer, and we look forward to those discussions. Up on the rundown, we'll also be hearing from Kenny Alfred, president of the Tobago Football Association, and this is in our Friday sports segment, and that's the Tobago FA Cup 2023, and Jaron Alfred, cricketer of the Hornchurch Athletic Club, and that's cricket in the United Kingdom. So we look forward to those those discussions coming up. And of course, in our sports segment on a Friday like today, we will most obviously expect to hear about discussions regarding TKR and the Amazon CPL finals that's on this weekend. So we look forward to those upcoming discussions in our rundown. At this point, viewers, we head on into Tobago in Focus.
Exciting things are happening in sport in Tobago, particularly within the Sport in Education unit of the Division of Education, Research and Technology. This unit aims to expose primary school students to various sports within the school year at their schools and is responsible for enhancing these skills. Sport in Education Unit Sport Officer 1 Marcus Daniel and Asha Legal explained 90% out of the 40 Tobago primary schools participate in the program.
At the schools level, that's the foundation. The athletes are actually learning. They dabble in different sporting disciplines. Sometimes you see an athlete doing track and field and really good. Then you see them doing football. Then you see them doing cricket. And at this level, it's just about sport for all and about participation. You also find scouts and some clubs and some coaches will be at these events looking to scout athletes for their clubs. And we as a sport and education unit, we welcome clubs taking these talented athletes into their club to enhance what we put out there on a yearly basis in terms of events.
Football, track and field, cricket and netball are the sports offered at this time. But students will have the opportunity to participate in a lot more sporting disciplines in the future, according to Ms. Legal.
I didn't hear anybody mention swimming. Is swimming not on the list of these
well,
disciplines?
due to the fact that it's going to be reintroduced, hopefully soon we actually intend to add a few new sports to the roster. We just can't reveal it yet until it's released.
Apart from the usual football and cricket,
there are some new ones that are going to be added, so that is something to look forward to.
And I think widening the gap here, widening the play field for our young players.
Let's give them different opportunities.
The United Nations Rights of the Child specifies the right to play and recreation, and many children have taken their newfound love of sport to gain success on the club level, representing Trinidad and Tobago on national teams, and even attaining scholarships. The Sport in Education unit assures that no child within the Tobago educational system will be left behind.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We're just at about 7:07 p.m. and we get the conversation started this morning with Max James. And this morning he's here in his capacity as an industrial relations consultant. And we're speaking to the most recent happenings coming out at TADCO, where there would have been, there is the current situation of contracts coming to an end, an indication that positions will go up again for an opportunity where workers will have to reapply for those positions for consideration come the end of this contractual period. To give us his perspective on that, we have on with us Max James, Industrial Relations Consultant. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Julian, and thank you for having me.
All right, so we want to start off by beginning to put things into perspective. How do you view this from the eyes of your experience as it relates to industrial relations?
Well, let me see. Let me just pull up my right. Good. So let me first say that you may not like what I'm going to say. But whether you like me or not is a question of what the law says. And I think that the Executive Council, I don't think that they've been properly advised. In fact, I believe they've been misled. I don't even think the matter, I stand corrected, that the matter would have come before the Executive Council because it's a public matter. But we did not hear of it. So we can only go based on what we have heard. And there's only one hurdle this matter has to overcome, and that is whether there's an overriding public interest. But we will deal with that in a few more seconds. The question is whether the action taken by the board led by Mr. Ricardo Alfred, Andrew Cowan, and his team, and all the indications are from the general purport of the letters of dismissal, because they in fact dismissals based on the industrial relations matters. Now, there are some lawyers who might be advising the Executive Council, and they're all wrong. They're not industrial relations experts. They haven't studied industrial relations. It's not a matter of law, but it's a matter of industrial relations. It's quite different to law. And it's a matter also of good HRM practices. So where the industrial relations might be insufficient, then you have to go to the HRM, Human Resource Management. And that's what we've been trained for. So it's not a question of law. So I want to dispel for the public what the industrial case is. Because some people, including lawyers, they believe that if you have a contract with a finite end, that you are not supposed to be re-engaged. The law says differently. So I want to bring to the attention of everyone listening and who might be reporting on it. Here is what the law says. So simply put, there's a legitimate expectation on the part of workers that at the end of their contract, they are supposed to be re-engaged. Some people say, no, but you have a contract. It says it's ended 23rd of January. The law says, no. So here's what the court has to say. And it's a Commonwealth case. Various authorities are of the view that a reasonable expectation renewal can exist even though the written contract of employment expressly stipulates that the employee fully understands that he has no expectation of the contract being renewed. So despite that, even there's a clause in that says so, we the industrial relations people say no, because you are going to put somebody out of employment and put them on the unemployment line. But there's a different pathway to achieve that, which is the HRM process. The HRM process is supposed to work. That's why we went to university to study this thing. So firing is not the option. Reconstructing a company is not necessarily the option. Here's what the law continues to say. Although the terms of the contract in this case, and that is a particular case, I won't go into the long citation of it, the court held that assurance given to the workers outside the agreement clearly conveyed to them that they could entertain such expectations. The employer basically overruled his own agreement. Meaning, so if you tell me that you'll retain my services, and the workers were told that their service would be retained by letter. So you move me from a permanent position, where I was on contract of service. We don't have time to go into all of that this morning. Mm-hmm. And then you put me on contract of service. That was the first wrong. So the company did that. They took the workers, say we will retain their services, and immediately put them on contract, which is a industrial relations wrong in the first place. But we kept quiet. Even though we would have advised certain persons, this is not the way to go. The problem the employer faces with fixed term probation is that it creates the impression that the employee will be permanently appointed if the employee performs sufficiently during the probation period. If the employer did not address poor performance during this period, it will have great difficulty in arguing the substantive fair reason for the non-renewal. So what this is saying here is that you put people on probation, you have a performance management system in place, a performance appraisal system in place, and that is what all employers are supposed to do. Without that, how are you going to convince the court that you did the correct thing? And I can tell you, the court doesn't look very nicely. They take a very dim view on matters like that. So let's go to the...
Now, just before you go on, I want you to be able to respond to, now the chairman for TADCO has indicated that this is not a dismissal. When we interviewed him yesterday,
he doesn't know the law,
he indicated
Julian?
that this is not a dismissal,
This
but
what?
rather this is the end of a contract. How do you view it
I
from
just
where
explained
you
that.
sit?
The court says no. You are supposed to re-engage the person.
So there's a legitimate expectation for re-engagement, and
on
on
every contract,
and that is on the basis that the persons would have been employed for an extended period where the contracts almost renew automatically, as has been the practice here in the Tobago House of Assembly.
Right. So let me just go back again for the benefit. Here's what the court is saying. The courts are saying. Right. Various authorities are of the view that a reasonable expectation renewal can exist even though the written contract expressly states or stipulates that the employee fully understands that he has no expectation of the contract being renewed. So court is saying, even though that is in your contract, peradventure it was there, and it is not there in these contracts, then you have to re-engage the person. The only way you will not re-engage the person, there are two grounds, because it appears that the matter is going to an injunctive state. So I don't want to go into the wherewithals of the particular matter. But the court is saying you cannot do that. But let's go to an international case from the level of the International Labour Organization, whose judges are drawn from the Privy Council. So we could safely call it a Privy Council judgment, right? So the chairman, as far as I'm concerned, I like being a little bit controversial. He's a beast. He doesn't know industrial relations. He knows marine engineering. He's the wrong man for the job. And he has misled, and his colleague, Deputy Chairman Andrew Cowan, so Ricardo Alfred, Andrew Cowan, and the rest of the board have misled the Executive Council. I firmly and sincerely believe that the Chief Secretary did not know and did not understand because he was misled. He entrusted a particular function, or they entrusted a particular function to this chairman and the board. They did not bring all the information to the Executive Council or the line secretary. So here what the international case says here. An international organization has a duty to inform a staff member in advance about the non-renewal of his or her fixed-term contract to enable the staff member to exercise her or his rights and take whatever steps he sees fit. It doesn't stop there. Even where this is judgment 3368 of the International Labour Organization Administrative Tribunal in 2014. Even where a provision contained in the contract of the staff member or in applicable rules, states that notice need not be given. So even though you say, I don't have to inform you, the ILO is saying, no, you must inform me. But you can't inform me 8 days before, because you have staff members informed yesterday, and you give me 8 working days, business days, to exercise them. Where's the organizational structure? What are you saying? Okay, so Alfred comes in here and tells Tobago he thinks we are fools. The law doesn't operate so. Let him go and practice marine engineering elsewhere, but not in the public space. The law is clear that you must give people time to exercise the options. But the law is saying even before that, you are supposed to re-engage. So we'll prove that in a minute. Let's go down to judgment number 3090. The long succession of short-term contracts, so they were using short-term contracts because they didn't want to employ people and keep them engaged. So they said, we'll break your contracts. The court says, no, you can't do that. So I'm putting employers on notice. So even though you feel that you could put people in short-term contracts and break them, and the court says no. The court is saying that over the period of 7 years, this would have happened. So she took the matter to court. It reached to the level of the ILO. And it is saying that the employer committed an error of law and misused the rules governing short-term contracts. So you have to be very clear as to what you're doing when you're saying you don't want to renew someone's contract. It is a general principle of international civil service law that there must be a valid reason for any decision not to renew a fixed-term contract.
So indicating that there's the need to restructure is not sufficient?
Depends on how you're doing it. That's the trick. That's why you have to rely not on lawyers who are they will misguide you to make money, and they're misguiding you under the guise that we are lawyers. Lawyers don't understand industrial relations. They'll charge you and bull rush you but to make money and to big up themselves. But they don't understand. So here's International Labour Organization is saying that there must be a valid reason to not renew a fixed-term contract. If the reason given is the unsatisfactory nature of the performance of the staff member concerned, who is entitled to be informed in a timely manner as to the unsatisfactory aspects of his or her service, the organization must base its decision on an assessment of that person's work carried out in compliance with previously established rules. So what that is saying, if you don't want to renew my contract, you have to base it on my performance. What are the non-performance or performance indicators that the board of TATCO put in place? You had 2 years to fix it. And then you're telling me that workers are unproductive. So fix it. You can't come now and say we will let go everybody. And the tricky problem is that who is going to, as he says, pick back workers? Who is it? Ricardo Alfred, Andre Kawan, the rest of the board, the CEO. They are not positioned in an organization to do that. That will be administrative corruption. Because where you have a chairman, a deputy chairman, members of the board, and a CEO, they will pick back workers. So here's the problem. You haven't shown an organizational chart. You haven't set any rules of engagement as to how that process will take place. And he said, you want to be fair, everybody must know and they want to be fair. Bull rush. He doesn't have a clue.
So what I want to get clear.
So you can't, as a chairman on a board, send home everybody. So who is going to re-engage persons? That's the question. That's the lynchment issue. Who is going to re-engage it? The chief administrator, she can't come down and do that. The administrator of the division, they can't do that. The board, they can't do that. So he has shot the executive council and the line secretary in the feet. He has given them no option than to remove the board. Because the board can't go and, as we say, pick back the workers. What would be the criteria on which they will base their picking?
So the question.
So it must be unfair. And the courts take a very dim view on that kind of a tyranny that he has unleashed on the workers of TATCO and on Tobago in general. And the chief secretary, I would believe him that he did not know. And if he did not know, then he was misled. And if he was misled, he must remove the board. He has no other option. Because I believe him, he's a sincere gentleman.
So I hear you.
He could not have known and allowed that to happen.
Right. I hear you in terms of the course of action specific to the Chief Secretary and the Executive Council, if in fact they were misled under the circumstances and didn't have all the relevant details. But my other question rather is, what are the immediate options available to the affected employees in this
So I'll give you
circumstance?
that. I'll give you the two quick cases and answer that very quickly. The complainant impugns that was a matter again to the...
And that's if this matter is not corrected.
Yes. So this is a matter went to the ILO again. ILO is the highest decision-making industrial relations in the world. And their judges are drawn from the Privy Council. I'm just reiterating for the benefit of the public. So you can say it's a Privy Council judgment. The complainant impugns the decision not to renew his appointment following a restructuring, which entailed the abolition of his post. The question remains as to whether restructuring was the real reason, and I dispute that restructuring is the real reason, that Mr. Ricardo Alfred, Andre Cowan, and et al. It could be. It's a question of efficiency or inefficiency that they claim. So what they did was to give chickens and feed to the farmers. The initiative didn't work out because well managed. You buy back the chickens from the farmers, and then you have to sell it very costly because it's a foolish initiative. And then the public saying the cost of that is too high, so I ain't buying. So the chickens on their hand. Thousands of chickens and pounds of chickens and birds are spoiling. So who are you going to blame? The workers for that? That was your policy.
So in your opinion...
So you can't, for lack of a good policy by the board, and then say the workers are inefficient. Again, I'm saying to everybody, human resource management is the better route when workers are delinquent, if you believe so. So you put your performance management systems in place, you put your performance appraisal system in place, and don't. So what are you going to say to the woman who has 5 children that I'm now unemployed, and she goes sit down and watch them in the face, she let the children in the face? And where Andre Cowan and Ricardo Alfred sit nicely, the chairman, the chief executive, I'm going to put this out into the public, the chief executive officer of TATCO draws more than $45,000 a month on a company that is unproductive. $45,000. The next manager is $29,000. The executive council met that, and they should have taken action. They now have an opportunity, not to send them the workers, but to remove the CEO who is working for more money, or just as the same money as the chief secretary, more money than secretaries, on a little company that is highly and grossly inefficient and unreliable, ineffective, and every other adjective you could describe. How are you justifying to the public that a CEO on an unproductive company is drawing $45,000 plus perks? He's the chief secretary or what?
So this arrangement would have been in place.
That was a PNM arrangement.
We heard yesterday that the former chief secretary, Mr. Dennis, speak to the fact about bringing together the companies amalgamate in order to form this operation. Are you saying that when this operation was formed, it was formed with that kind of salary range for the persons that they have?
Yes, that was under Patlin Titus and she brought in Salazar, Denisio Salazar, paying him 40. That is not the TPP or PDPs, whichever you want to call it, decision. That was a PNM decision. Those are the facts. So they were paying him that. The chief secretary met those things. And I'm advising him to deal with that. You pay the CEO, you fire him because he's been overrun by the chairman and the deputy chairman. You fire him or you pay him towards the end of his contract, which I understand is coming to an end, and put a caretaker general manager in place until you could figure out what to do with the company. But certainly that kind of thing that is happening there, the chief secretary, and I am saying chief secretary, you need to act, and you need to act promptly. You will have my support, but you need to act promptly and to end this craziness that this board that is in place is wreaking in Tobago. It just can't work. It is wrong. It's a waste of public funds. You can't be paying a CEO $45,000, more than a secretary, more than his own line secretary, more than the administrator for the division. It just didn't make sense. But that was a PNM decision. Of course, it's they who put that system in place. Nothing was wrong in bringing the 3 companies together, but this thing has to be fixed. And it can't be fixed with that chairman and that board, who the chairman overruns. He's a Boris Cess guy, Ricardo Alfred. He knows nothing about industrial relations, nothing about human resource management. He's a marine engineer. This is absolutely wrong. I cannot support it. The chief secretary and his team are sworn to uphold the constitution law without fear and favor. And if that is wrong, they must fix it. If they were misled, they must fix it. I can't believe that they knew and that happened. I don't believe they knew. Now that they know, they must act and act fast, because this thing is headed to the court. And finally, Justice Addison Khan, this is what he ruled. People were engaged on 2-year fixed-term contracts. And what he says, a worker who serves an employer pursuant to a fixed-term contract is a worker within the meaning of the Industrial Relations Act, unless specifically excluded by law. Further, It is well settled, and this is for everybody to hear. Those bush lawyers outside there who are advising the chief secretary wrongly, let me know your number and give me your number. It says here, a failure to renew a fixed term contract upon its expiry can be a dismissal, which is harsh and oppressive and not in accordance with the principles of good industrial relations practice.
All right, so we got to leave it there this morning, but this is a very strong and a firm call coming from Max James, Industrial Relations Consultant, calling on the Chief Secretary to act immediately in treating with what he certainly describes as a wrong in the circumstances, and that is the coming to an end of the contract and putting back out of positions where employees have the option to apply again in the circumstance. He's certainly not supporting that under the circumstances and calling on the Chief Secretary to act immediately. Thank you very much, Max James, Industrial Relations Consultant, for joining us on set here this morning. We also want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Tobago! It's the semi-final of the Tobago FA Cup this Saturday, September 23rd, the day before the holiday. Get ready for semi-final number 1 as Georgia FC faces off against Stokely Vale at 5:30 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. semi-final number 2, Golden Lead versus Sidees FC. The place to be this Saturday evening is the Dwight York Stadium, who will take it to the finals of the Tobago FA Cup.
Roads lead to the Roxborough Sporting Complex on Sunday 24th September for the Republic Day Cultural Show and fireworks. The cultural show will feature a steel band pre-show. Hear from bands like Metro Stars and TN Tech East Side. You'll also witness performances by Best Village Champions 2023, Zante's Unique Touch, Fire Limbo by Encore Dance Theatre, New Edition Folk Performers, Roxborough Lakers, Windward Carnival Calypso Monarch 2023, Giselle Washington, the National Fire Service Band, and a steel pan blowout featuring national arranger Kush Ramsey. The pre-show begins at 5 p.m., the main show at 6 p.m., and the fireworks display at 8 p.m. The only place to be on Republic Day is Roxborough. See you there.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We just at about 7:33 a.m. this morning, and in this segment, we're continuing the conversation with Aisha McKnight, and she's the coordinator of Drive-Through Prayer. Yes, folks, you heard it correctly. Good morning and welcome, Aisha.
Good morning, morning. Thank you for having me.
So as we get the conversation started, I want to get behind the vision, the concept, and the inspiration for having an event, an initiative that speaks to drive-through prayer.
To be honest, I saw this on social media a few months ago, and I said, "Wow, why isn't this happening in Trinidad and Tobago?" And it's like the Holy Spirit said to me, "Why don't you do it?" And I've been playing with it, like just having it in my mind since probably May. And I decided that this is something, my birthday is soon, and this is something I want to do just to give back to the community. And yeah, so I started planning a few days ago, literally a few days ago. And things are already coming together. We have pastors on board. We have volunteers. So we got the venue. So everything is just basically coming together, ready for next week, Wednesday.
Excellent. So let's get into the initiative a little bit more. Drive-through prayer. What exactly is this?
So it's us, the church, coming out to meet with the people. Because what I've realized, and even for myself, there are so many people who are suffering silently. Sometimes we're on our way to work and we might say a prayer in the car because, you know, we're going into work into a stressful situation, or we came out of home in a stressful situation. And your car, a lot of times, is like a safe haven. It's like a place where you are mostly yourself and where you have a bit of alone time. So we're using that for persons to get into Shore Park. You drive up. We have ministers will be ready to pray for anybody that comes through. And basically after that, you leave. You give us a bit of information and you leave so that we could continue praying for you.
All right. When is this scheduled to take place and the hours that it will take place?
On Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So persons could run away, come in before you go to work, run away, lunchtime, whatever it is, whatever time you get, just pass through. But we are also accepting persons, we also welcome persons who don't have vehicles and could just walk into Shore Park. We are using the back gate. So persons could come in and be blessed.
So that's the entrance closer to the tennis courts.
To the tennis court, yes.
So that will be the entry point for coming in.
Yes.
When you enter, I suppose you will see the area with tents,
yes,
etc.
We have tents. We have, as I said, volunteers who would assist persons in directing the traffic to the prayer areas.
So is this a literal drive-through? Is this a park, come out, get
no,
prayers,
no, it's
and then you continue?
No. It's a literal drive-through. You don't have to come out of your vehicle. You don't have to come out of your vehicle. You just drive up, stop by the tent where the pastors would be, and when they're done with you, you can leave.
Tell us about some of the denominations that have come on board with this initiative.
Well, I don't want to speak denominations because it's not about religion or anything like that. It's just about wanting to give people a touch, for God to be able to touch people and to reach people. But I am a part of the Church on the Rock in Lescotho. So I have Bishop Basil Edwards and Pastor Paul Joseph coming through. I also spoke to Minister Josanne Dyer, Pastor Josanne Dyer. So she would be sending someone to help us. And I have some friends or some pastors, some mothers that are coming from Trinidad, from all the way in New Grant, who are coming up to help me, Dr. Apostle Brenda Cooper and Pastor Ann Joseph.
Would you say that this is an excellent opportunity for some who, you're Christian, you're all about, serving God and your beliefs and so on, but you believe the physical space of the church has become so judgmental in certain instances that it makes you a bit uncomfortable. Would you say you're reaching out even to persons in those circumstances?
I am. Because we know, and it's a fact that we can't hide, that the church has become very judgmental. Some people don't walk into the church because they're afraid of being judged on how they look or how they might dress. So I'm giving people, this is an opportunity for persons, for God to meet with persons outside of the church. Because the truth is that God is still in the business of saving souls and reaching people and helping us. But I think that we need to come out of the building and actually meet people and give people the opportunity to have that touch and that encounter with God.
All right, excellent. So I want you to just remind our viewers again, in terms of where this is taking place,
So
when it's happening, and the time.
Shore Park Complex on next Wednesday, the 27th, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will be using the back gate, and we would have volunteers there who would guide you on where to go if you're walking in or if you're driving in, where to go. And we have worshipers who are on board coming out to worship. So it's just a time of basically open air worship and prayer.
All right.
For those
Some would
hours.
ask, for those of us that don't own a vehicle, is there an opportunity for walking as
Yes,
well?
that's
All
what I
right.
said. So we do have, people can walk in. We would have an area designated for persons who are actually just walking in. So all are welcomed. Everybody. Just come through, because there are so many people. I mean, even as Mr. Max James was talking before, where there are people who have been fired and you're not sure what to do, just come out and receive. Come out with an open heart, open mind to receive.
All right. Excellent. Remind them of your contact information for those who may want to reach out.
So my number is 473-7332. So you can reach out to me if you want to offer anything. If you want to assist us on that day, you can call me, WhatsApp me, and we could connect.
All right. Anything else you'd like to share why this is a must-attend initiative?
Because for me, it's the first time something like this is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. And it is just for people, the times are a bit harder now, and we are just giving people the opportunity to meet God and to get that help, because so many people are suffering silently. So just come out and get that touch and connect and get a bit of hope or encouragement to move on.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much, Aisha McKnight, for joining us here on set this morning. Yes, folks, it's drive-through prayer. A first happening here. It's free entry. You've got to pay nothing to attend this event, and everyone are welcome. It's happening at the Shore Park Complex Car Park on September 27th. That's next week, Wednesday. Next Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yes, they're also accepting walk-ins. If you don't have a vehicle, just walk in. There'll be an area for you. But for those with vehicles, feel free to drive through. You're spending a few minutes and getting that opportunity, in terms of certainly those blessings and prayers in any area that you may have your concerns or really seeking the intervention of the Almighty God. Contact information 473-7332 for Aisha McKnight. Thank you very much again for joining us on set here this morning. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show. And at this point, we prepare to head on out to a break, but we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tobago, get ready to venture into the unknown. Mighty Crush Entertainment presents Dream the Phantasm. Join us on September 30th, 2023 from 11 p.m. to experience your newest reality at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. And the best part, you can get your tickets now at Lust Restaurant and Lounge, Gulf City Lowlands, Jade Monkey Bar, Pablo's Supermarket, Barcode, Spade, Stumpy Complex Canaan, or online at WeTix.com and IslandEtickets.com. Mighty Crush Hotline 755-7874 on September 30th at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. Dream the Phantasm.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Blessings and greetings to you, and welcome to Entertainment Central on Tobago Updates. It's your boy, Will I Am. So, Entertainment Central is a new program we have on Tobago Updates to tell you everything that's happening in entertainment on the island of Tobago. So, on Republic Day, it has a special event happening at Magdalena Grand. I got a phone call, came down here to see what it's really about. So, my boy, Zach is across here. Zach, what's up, man?
It's a pleasure to have you back, Nana. It's a pleasure to have you back.
So, what has Magdalena Grand been up to?
Wow, what can I say? We've been up to a lot recently, actually. Just this year, we hosted several golf tournaments. We also did the recently concluded Commonwealth Youth Games, where Magdalena Grand was proud to be the Tobago Athletes Village. And looking forward to the end of the year. As you know, we have our signature New Year's Eve event. But aside from that, persons have been asking, you know, when next you guys are doing an event, you know, they had such a grand time for all years. So, you know, we went to the drawing board. We saw that it lined up perfectly, that it was a long weekend. So we said for Republic Day, why not? Let's do a bonfire, but not just any bonfire. Let's make it a nice beach bonfire at the resort.
Right, so, a beach bonfire. What makes this so different from all other bonfires we have in Tobago?
It's a good question, Nana. So, as you know, we're known for our events, attention to detail, exceptional service, sensational drinks, you know, serene atmosphere. And all this is what we're offering on the night, right? Admission is free, so there's no cost. We have food and drink specials all night long, all right?
So, food and do you pay for the food and drinks?
Correct. We have food and drink specials available for sale. There are no coolers allowed. However, we are promising that our drinks are going to be priced for a bonfire.
All right, because you know people will be concerned hotel price versus
Exactly.
So what kind of prices we're looking at?
We're looking at $15 beers. You're looking at $25 rum. You know, pretty much standard what you would pay at any bar, you know, in Crown Point side or elsewhere in Tobago.
So question, you know we have the Roxbury event happening, so you'll have fireworks and then to where people are?
Of course, come on. So we have fireworks in store for you guys. We also have other live entertainment planned. We have Angel Journey on the 1s and 2s. We have Track Masters. We also have Chris Genius Music. And we just want you guys to come and join us on the beach, on the sand, for a night of fun, good people, good vibes, grand experience.
All right, so that's Republic Day. So we got the Republic Day out of the way. What you all have for Carnival, for people for Carnival?
Oh, Nana's in the know. Nana's definitely in the know. So this year for Tobago Carnival, we've partnered with Fog Angels to be not only the premier distribution site for the mass band, but as well as we're offering special packages with them in mind. So guests, if they book with us for that period, they get exclusive rates, discounted rates might I add, whether you're booking for the Juve or whether you're booking to play mass, exclusive rates for our Magdalena guests only. So all you need is the block code MGFOG 2023, and once you enter that on the Fog Angels website, you have full access to our exclusive rates as a Magdalena Grand guest.
What kind of rates you looking at?
Well, off the bat, I can tell you that for that period, you can get an oceanfront king room with breakfast and double occupancy for $1,200 per night, and that's taxes included.
And that's breakfast. You getting breakfast with that too?
You're getting our scrumptious buffet breakfast, all you can eat and enjoy.
All right, so does it have any events that will happen here other than the Fog Angels village being here? Does it have any events, fetes or all-inclusives that will be happening here?
There is one event on the table, and we don't want to announce on it just yet. I believe there will be an announcement coming this week about the said event.
So we got Carnival out the way. Magdalena, back in the days when it's be up and on the place, right? You always have your breakfast and brunches and stuff like that. That's still on. What kind of prices we're looking at?
Right. So yes, we do have our buffet breakfast each and every morning, and then every Sunday we have our brunch, which starts from 12 p.m. and it goes until about 3 p.m. Breakfast brunch is $2.75, taxes excluded. And again, all you can eat and enjoy. You know, it's actually great for those when right after you leave church, you can come and dine with us. You know, families who want to catch up. We love to host big groups as well. So yes, we invite one and all to come and experience.
And personally, for me here today, what I love the most is the Tobago lounge, because people, you need to hydrate. This heat spell, trust me. And the Tobago lounge is nice and cool.
That is true. The Tobago lounge is where we host our signature New Year's Eve event, as you guys know, every year. Lovely layout, as well with the decking and the indoor. So we're not going to use that layout for this bonfire, because we want to be in the sand. You know, we want to loosen up a little bit with you guys.
Right, so let's just recap for the viewers. Day, time, what to expect.
Yes. So on September the 24th, Republic Day, which also happens to be the night before the holiday, the Magdalena Grand proudly invites you to come and join us on the sand and under the stars for a beach bonfire. Right, we have food and drink specials all night long. Gentle reminder, no coolers are allowed, but our drinks are going to be priced for a bonfire. All right, rest assured, we have live entertainment by DJ Angel Journey. We have Track Masters. We have Chris Genius Music. And we have fireworks display for you guys, and we have other surprises in store. Let's not let everything out the bag, you know? We want to surprise you all a little bit too.
All right. Food. What type of food looking at? Okay, you talk about drinks. What kind of food looking at?
So we are actually extended invitations to external third-party vendors, food trucks, because we want to, keep it in line with what a bonfire really is. All right. So thus far, we are confirming by this week. So far, we have one vendor confirmed. We're looking for another one that will suit the ambience.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you guys here, and we hope to see you all on Sunday.
Well, yes, I'll be out and about, and trust me, people, you need to hydrate. Up is cool. The other day I went to an event and it was real hot. But viewers, just going to a break and we'll be right back.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McAl Group.
Tobago! It's the semi-final of the Tobago FA Cup this Saturday, September 23rd, the day before the holiday. Get ready for semi-final number 1 as Georgia FC faces off against Stokely Vale at 5:30 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. semi-final number 2, Golden Lead versus Sidees FC. The place to be this Saturday evening is the Dwight York Stadium, who will take it to the finals of the Tobago FA Cup.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Friday Show, Sports segment, 7:30 to 8. My name is Kerry Porter. Marcus Daniel is somewhere around. I think he's going to join us virtually. Today we have a lot to discuss. We're talking FA Cup football. We're talking with Jaron Alfred, a very young, talented man that I've been following over the years since I'm in Tobago, about his career. Marcus, are you there?
You hear me, Porter?
Yes.
Is he on Fridays? I find that they're cutting into our sport programming over here. I mean, I like the entertainment vibe. I mean, bonfire in Magdalena. But oh gosh, boy, I asked him for an hour for the longest while. Porter, we're going to what, 8:30 this morning, right?
Yes, I figure. We could do that.
So tell Candice we're going until 8:30, right?
And between me and you, we'll just pay for the additional half hour.
But yes. So happy to see Mr. Alfred and Seth. And let me say good morning to the viewers. And of course, it's Friday. We're talking sports as per usual. And as you mentioned, we have a packed program this morning. We're talking FA Cup football, and we're talking to Jaron Alfred, who recently returned from the UK. And I'm telling you that he did really well across there. So let me say good morning to Mr. Alfred.
Good morning, Marcus. Good morning to you. Sorry, I'm not where you are, but I have to be here. And of course, the Alfreds are good in the sport, So it's good to know the guys.
Where is Marcus?
That's a good question.
I'm really glad of cricket.
So
enjoy.
So, guys, we want to kick this off this morning, and we are into FA Cup football. It's really good action. Lots of things that happening at the stadium. Mr. Alfred, where do we stand with the FA Cup? How is it going?
Good morning to you, Marcus. Good morning to you, Kerry. Good morning to your viewers. I missed that before. But let me say, where we are in the football, it's beyond my expectation. I have to be honest with you and the viewers. The football has been exciting. It's been passionate. Lots of energy. I certainly didn't expect the intensity that we have going on now in the football. But of course, when you're playing a knockout competition, where it's win or go home, you have to bring your A game every time that you play. And I think that's what the fans are getting at the stadium every time they come out.
So who are the teams in the semifinals?
All right, so we have 4 teams in the semifinals. I don't think I could have made a better matchup. In the first game, we have Georgia FC taking on Stokely Vale. And let me explain when I say Georgia Stokely Vale match. We're talking about Mount St. George and Plymouth. 2 communities in Tobago with lots of history in the sport, lots of success over the years, and therefore we could expect to get a keenly contested game. What is even more interesting, the two teams are playing similar style of football. Very fast-paced, very open, looking to come down the flanks and approach you. So it makes good matchup, good entertainment for fans, and of course we're going to see who's going to turn out on top.
While Mr. Alfred fixes here, please. Marcus, you have missed some really good games in the stadium.
Yeah, what I want to firstly commend the Tobago Football Association on. I'm not too sure if this is done down to Mr. Alfred, but I realize that they have upped their social media game, and I have been calling on all other associations to engage social media, get the public involved, not just Tobagonians, but obviously people throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Let them know that, hey, we're having these events and we wanted to come out and support the event. So whoever is responsible for the social media of the Tobago Football Association, I want to commend you guys. And I want to ask Mr. Alfred specifically, yes, we have some teams that are traditionally strong in terms of community support, but Mr. Alfred, do you think that with this heightened presence of the social media postings, you think that contributed a lot to the support of the Tobago Football Association season, not just the FA Cup, but the league matches?
Without a doubt, Marcus. Listen, you have to get the information out to the public, and we have been grateful for the assistance and the volunteerism of a young lady that I'm going to call her name, Miss Avion Parks. She has been doing a tremendous job managing our Facebook page.
Good morning, Miss
I
Parks.
can't say
Good morning, Miss Parks.
enough about her and what she's contributing to the sport and to the marketing of the event. I also need to tell you about the second game as well, Kerry. That is going to be between Golden Lane and Sidees FC. Now, Golden Lane, you have to stop and pause. Golden Lane played 5 games prior to the FA Cup.
Correct.
Did not win a game. Scored 1 goal. Went on the transfer market. Acquired some players. Came into the FA Cup.
I saw that.
And they have been the David and Goliath situation, Marcus. They have beaten defending champions 1976 FC Phoenix. They then took care of Charlottesville. Golden Lane has been very bold. They know they have nothing to lose, so they've been very bold. They're in-your-face kind of game that they're playing. They're coming at you hard, whether with or without the ball, and I think fans could expect the same coming Saturday night. On the other side, Sidees,
go ahead.
Easily one of the best teams either side of the pandemic. They have been very consistent, very easy to look at. You could enjoy the game, understand how they want to attack you, different styles of approach. But again, very determined. They're the Eastern Sea Lions. So again, another mouth-watering matchup. Who's going to take the lead? And what is interesting about knockout football, Marcus, is if you score first, you know the opponent is going to come at you hard because they don't have a choice. Likewise, you have to defend really hard to deny them. And that is really, I think, is lending to the intensity and the quality of game that we're having at the stadium.
And for those who may not know, Sidees, that's Speyside, all the way up to Speyside. Right?
All the way.
And you mentioned the transfer window. Who are some of the players that Golden Lane would have been able to acquire in that transfer window? And explain the transfer window for persons who may not know what you're talking about.
All right. So between the season, you have a period where you are allowed to register new players. So at the beginning of the season, you register the players that you have or who you think you want to play for your club. Then during the season, you may recognize, listen, some areas I need to strengthen up in, some areas I need to have backup players. What Golden Lane did is that they went on the road, got a number of players coming out of Mason Hall who are not playing. Right. So they would have acquired a number of players from Mason Hall and Mariah, those communities, which is neighboring to them. Of course, Golden Lane, they use the Mariah playing field as their home ground. And they would have brought those players on full into the club, and they're reaping benefits. Tremendous benefits. Yeah. I can't remember all the names now of the guys that they would have acquired. And I believe they would have acquired players from other teams as well, but they did a tremendous job. Stano Joseph and company would have done well bringing in these players.
I have seen some really good football over this FA Cup. Do you think it's because of the prize money?
No, I don't think it's because of the prize money alone. I think the community rivalry. Listen, and that is what is important in sport. Even in the CPL, we have teams carrying a particular name. You are playing for your community. and people look forward to that. Yes, you want to win the money. Of course, you want to win the money. Who's going to be against that? But I think really the community spirit, the rivalry. When you're in the stands and you listen to people, the bantering that is taking place, you know that is important. I can tell you now, a gentleman who has not kicked a ball for the season, Mr. Balfour out of Golden Lane, he was indicating that, listen, even with my bad knee, I'm coming out because I want to represent my community of Golden Lane. And we're going to look forward to seeing them tomorrow night.
So let me just ask you something quick. The game between Signal Hill and was it Leeds? Do you think that was a disadvantage game because it played on, what should I say, a field or a ground that was probably, to my understanding, not prepared well?
That's the game between
Signal Hill. Was it Signal Hill and Wim? I think this game that played in Show Park.
Oh no, I think the ground is prepared well.
Because there was a lot of grass in that ground.
Listen, it's the same for both teams. Yes, the grass may have been a little high, but really and truly, it wasn't different for either teams. So you had to cope with the situation. As I said, it wasn't different. But the ground is really a beautiful ground now. Shaw Park is ready for football and cricket, Marcus. But I'm going to give way to cricket. I'm going to give way to cricket. You're going to have your venue for cricket.
I want to come inside here now. I want to come in.
Come on in.
Let him fix his earpiece there. Let him fix his earpiece. I want to hear.
You see, I brought in your Show Park.
Yeah, but you're going to get Show Park.
I can't knock Mr. Alfred at all because I know he's not responsible for the venues in Tobago. And obviously he wants his football to be played at a pristine venue, of which we at the Cricket Association will love Shaw Park to be solely for cricket. But that's another discussion, Mr. Alfred. I'm not going to knock you on that.
No, but you're going to get the Shaw Park. I promise you that. You're going to get the Shaw Park. We would not be using Shaw Park too much, so you're going to have it. But I think the ground, Kerry, was the same for both teams. So you can't call it unfair to one or the other. You just have to understand the play conditions. And people have to adjust and adapt to what you're having, whether it was sunny, whether it was raining, whether the grass may have been half an inch too high or not. You have to adapt.
Marcus, let me get you in here.
Yes, I can't let you go without touching on something some may deem controversial in terms of officiating. You may not have direct control over the officials, but in terms of where you sit as the president of the Tobago Football Association, I'm sure you have seen on social media, obviously the games have been streamed live by, of course, Tobago Sports Live and Tobago Updates, and persons are able to replay. And there was a situation in one particular game, an offside decision, some may say would have caused the team not to get into the knockouts, well, deeper in the competition. I mean, have you seen those controversial decisions, and what's your take on the officiating overall?
Thanks for the question, Marcus. It's really an interesting question in terms of the officiating. I have a slightly different view on the officiating. I'm a little sympathetic. You may think that I'm a little sympathetic. We need officials. One of the things I think we do that is not good is that we bash our officials in any sport when we perceive or see errors that are made, and we accuse them of doing things that I don't think that they do. You know, we tend to hear that the officials are thieving. I don't think a referee or an umpire or whoever leaves his home to go to a game to do that with intent. We are all human beings. There would be errors made, and we have to learn to live with it. We saw in a World Cup, a FIFA World Cup, a player hands a ball. You know, they call it the hands of God. So that these things will happen. It's an error. We hope that we don't have those errors occurring. But I think we have to understand that they are human beings. Sometimes they're in the position where they may not see something that you in another position would see. And sometimes it's vice versa. You don't see what they're seeing and we tend to bash them. But believe you me, if we don't have officials at the venue, the game won't play. As much as we want to bash them, we won't play. Having said that though, I want to now start making a plea for young men and young women to get involved in officiating because it's a wonderful opportunity for you to see the world. We know of the exploits of the late Noel Bino, what he would have achieved in the sport as an official. So the opportunities there. So maybe the time is now for us to now start calling on young people to get involved as referees, as assistant referees. And who knows, you may be in a World Cup in 2027 or 2031, somewhere along the line. So the opportunity is there for both men and women.
So let me just say good morning to all the referees all the officials, you guys have been doing a wonderful, tremendous job. I mean, I watch you guys every game, tentative, looking at everything. And you see, a lot of fans do not understand, Marcus. It's a split-second call. They have to make a decision. You know, a lot of people
Yeah,
don't understand about that.
and obviously, I'm not going to sit here and knock officials, right? But I am saying, just as we want the players to play at a particular level, we want the officials to be also at a particular level. Continuous training, because obviously every day there's a new dynamic in terms of play, and you want the best, and you don't want to see simple mistakes causing teams, because I mean you put in a lot, registration, uniforms, I mean ball, equipment, whatever it is, and you don't ever want to see referees are being criticized for making continuous and repetitive bad calls. So yeah, I'm also joining the call for young persons, because I told someone in the refereeing fraternity they should target secondary schools to get get them younger, the intelligent ones, because I mean officiating is an intelligence as well too. So yeah.
It's very demanding, and you're right. It requires you to study the law, and the law is becoming very complex. Even we watching at the EPL now, we're seeing even use of VAR. It is becoming very challenging. Just 2 days ago, Marcus, I had some fellas trying to go through in another sport that you love, cricket, to deal with a situation. And as Kerry rightfully said, it's a fraction of a second. You have to observe something and make a call, because you don't have time. In that situation here, we don't have VAR. So clearly you have to make a decision. And oftentimes, you can't make a decision on what you feel or what you think. You have to see, and you have to be sure. It's like in cricket, giving a man out, you have to be sure that that ball played the bat and not hit his shoot or something like that. Similarly for the referees, if I didn't see the ball hit the man's hand, I mean, 200 people could be calling and say handle ball, but if you didn't see it, then you can't call it. Unfortunately, depending on your angle and where you are at the time, that would impact on your decision making. But I really think we have to thank the guys for coming out and the ladies, because we do have female officials as well. And let us encourage them. When they get it wrong, okay, they get it wrong. And I think most of them would openly say, listen, if I got it wrong, it was an error. They didn't leave home to come and intentionally do that and affect the game. And we're going to have some good games.
And so let's repeat for us again the semi-finals, the venue, time. Are we going to have Iowa in the halftime interval? Entertainment, tell me. How much
unfortunately, I think you have Iowa where you are, so that he said he couldn't make it to Tobago on the day. But here we're going to have some DJ in the venue. And of course, the venue is our premier venue in Tobago, the Dwight York Stadium. Again, it's this Saturday. First game is at 5:30 p.m. It's going to be Georgia versus Tocqueville. So it's Plymouth versus Mount St. George. And in the second game, we have Golden Lane coming up against Sidees, which means the Eastern Sea Lions Speyside are going to be coming down. In the numbers, Speyside would be in yellow and Golden Lane would be in blue. So I'm just saying that I don't want Speyside people to think that they're going to be in blue. Come Saturday night, they have to come in the yellow shirts. Golden Lane is coming in the blue. I expect to see lots of people come into the game, come into the park, because lots of fun. And I could tell you now, if you don't get goals in the game, you're going to get goals after the game. Because, of course, we have to decide the winner. And I think it has added to the entertainment for the fans to see these guys go up and take penalties. Georgia have gone through that situation twice. Tocqueville have done it once. So they would have gone through it before and hopefully would be confident. Those two teams have been very miserly. They've both conceded one goal each. Tocqueville, on the other hand, have scored a little more. So it's going to be good entertainment, good action in the football, and hopefully the better teams will go through to the finals.
And on that note, Tobago Sports Live is going to be there, but I'm going to tell Mr. Alfred, I'm not sure if we're going to be streaming as yet, because we want you fans to come out. We want you to come and support. Let me see the amount of people in the stadium, then I'll decide if I'll stream. But we want you to come and support the football. On that note, SSFL is on, Marcus, right? Secondary school football. And it's going really good. I mean, my favorite team, Bishops, hasn't won a game as yet, but my fingers are still crossed, Mr. Alfred. But I'm making a call. I would like to see the parents of these kids come out, because when the Trinidad team comes here, you're hearing Trinidad more than Tobago support. I don't like that, you know?
They're different in culture. Let's put it that way.
It's
Different
really
in
a
culture.
cultural thing. Parents in Tobago don't normally go with their kids and support, but I like the call that you're making. They need to come out and support their kids because, listen, you don't know how much that means to the young child, the young player, knowing that mommy or daddy or brother or sister is there, shouting for me to do well, encouraging me to go on. You know, so it's important that they do come out and support the kids. And let me also say this, Marcus, we have a group of Tobagonians living in New York. Starting from the last game, they are now following the game in Tobago, and they're only following it on Tobago Sports Live.
And Tobago
So we do have the link going that far, and hopefully we get some more support to the game.
All right.
And just before you go, Mr. Alfred, the cost to enter, and when is going to be the finals?
All right. So the cost for entry on Saturday will be $30, and my fee of $30, and the finals are set for the 6th of October, right there at the Dwight York Stadium.
Fantastic.
All right. We've been speaking with Mr. Alfred, President of TFA. This is the Tobago Updates Morning Sports segment. And I'm calling for you guys to come and support the FA Cup, also the secondary school. I love to see the parents to come out. All right, I really love to. We'll be back. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union back to school loan promotion. Loans up to $15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment for self-employed persons. Evidence of income and expenditure. Bank statement 12 to 18 months. Other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loans@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's back to school loan promotion.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Strawberry Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Tobago Update Sports section. Friday, my name is Kerry Porter. Marcus Daniel is virtual somewhere. He hasn't told me where he is, but he's around. So now we have a young man that I'm so proud of that has been following for quite some time in the football arena, Mr. Jan Alfred. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, morning. One change there. It's cricket. That's football.
It's cricket, yes, cricket. My mind is so on football.
Yeah.
Marcus?
One Alfred to the other, so it's understandable.
Exactly. Tell me, who's Jaron?
Who's Jaron Alfred? Just a guy from the east end of Tobago, Roxborough originally, but I live in Belgrado now. Just very humble guy who knows what he needs to do in order to get where he needs to be. So that's the guy that you're meeting at the moment.
Marcus, you there? Well, yes.
Yes, yes. But I like the correction. I like the correction, Jaron. Let him know we're talking cricket, not football. We're talking the best sport in the world.
I beg to differ.
Yeah. And Jaron, of course, let me first congratulate you based on what I saw on social media. You would have had what I deem, or I think you will deem as well, as a successful season, first season in the UK. I would have had the opportunity to play in the UK as well. I played in the Essex League, that's in London. So, of course, tell the viewers, how you enjoyed your time there, what were the achievements, the highlights, the lows, and all these different things.
Marcus, I think we played in the same league, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
the same Essex League, but probably a division a bit higher. First of all, the experience at HACC was excellent. They made me feel at home. The grounds were utterly amazing. The people there treated you like family, you wanted to go and play cricket. So, and that's the environment that you would want any young cricketer or aspiring cricketer to be there. To say, okay, I went to the UK and I had this very good experience, and I'm coming back on such a great experience. It is something that you probably dream about. Yeah? My time there playing the SSC, there were a few games where it rained and you had to play during the rain, like not just a drizzle. It was an actual downpour.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So how did that work?
well, the umpires didn't call the game off, to be honest. So you just continued to play until they said, all right, it's time to come off. And none of the games stopped for any very lengthy period of time, probably a 5 minutes, come on, come off, stuff like that. And the game just continued to play. So I had games where I was running up to bowl and the rain was in my eyes. And it's going down.
Wasn't the ball slippery?
Surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. Yeah. And the pitch itself didn't get affected much. So I think one of the hardest things is to bat in the rain or bat with the drizzle on your helmet coming down that drip. Other than that, the experience was good. You see things there that you would like to see back home in terms of how the cricket is played, the intensity, the professionalism, stuff like that. And you tell yourself, okay, how can I, as a cricketer coming from such a small island, come back with some experience to impart on the ones and then back home? And I've told myself, leaving the UK or leaving that Hornchurch club, that I needed to tick 2 boxes, and one of them was to actually get the team promoted, and the other one is to say that I've been to Lords to watch a game of cricket, and I've ticked both boxes, leaving the UK. And Marcus, you would be impressed with what they have in store in the Lords dressing rooms and stuff like that. And there's a hall dedicated to the West Indies, which is something that I think that you would admire a lot, or any cricketer for that aspect. So, yeah.
How did you make this connection, this link?
I got a call from Coach Brian Brown, to be honest.
Morning, Brian.
And he was the one responsible for this experience. And I've told him time again, every time I see him, I try to remind him that I'm so grateful for the opportunity, just for considering me for something like this. All right. And making him proud, but not just making him proud, I'm hoping that I've made Tobago proud on top of that. So I think that I probably tick that box as well when it comes to that encouragement to do good and stuff like that. So yeah.
And it's always a wonderful experience going out there, rubbing shoulders with persons you haven't met in your entire life, and to get to playing cricket and to understand the culture of the team and the culture of the UK, how they think and how they play their cricket is an experience. And I'm happy that you got that experience. And I'm hoping that other young players in Tobago will get that experience, because then you get to understand there's much more than just playing in Tobago, where you show up and the ground isn't prepared, and then you have to pull the covers for yourself, and then all this craziness. And then you get out there and it's like a whole culture shock to you. And that there's a professional environment. No matter what division you play in, there's a professional environment. The home team will bring tea here, and you bring public drinks there. Then when you're finished, you're gonna have a beer or two. and that's why it's called the gentleman's game. So John, are you planning on returning with the same club? Or are you going to go up to a different level?
We're in conversations at the moment, considering that they just got promoted to a higher division, and the competition itself is going to be a bit tougher. I'm always up for new challenges, so it's in the pipeline at the moment whether or not I'm going to go back or whether I'm going to move on to something else. In cricket-wise, in terms of expanding my career, probably outside of the UK or outside of the US. So yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
we. All right, go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, and in terms of your personal outlook as a cricketer, I mean, where is your mind at? You still believe that you can don the red, white, and black at the senior level?
Marcus, my body is as good as anyone that I see playing the game at the moment, and to say that I'm not considering playing for Trinidad and Tobago would be a crime. I always aspired to play for Trinidad and Tobago. It's been a dream of mine since I was wee big, watching some of the older guys. I've been around the setup for a long time, probably not there at the moment for whatever reason. But I'm still willing to make that sacrifice if I am called upon to play for Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, fantastic.
So compared to cricket in Tobago, explain what's the difference. I know we have some very good cricketers.
No, we have some excellent cricketers, to be honest, but there is a clear gap in terms of the actual game. The players, they will be individual players or 2 or 3 players on a senior team in Tobago domestic cricket that is going to come and perform. When you're there, the guys up there in the UK, those guys, you'll have 9 and 10 of those 11 guys are tough guys, tough competitors coming out there doing the absolute best in order to get you out, in order to make runs. So there's a little bit more, not just professionalism, but hunger to play the game in the UK. Given that there's so much of them playing, you would think that it would be a little bit, lethargic, or say, I'm just coming to have a game or coming out sake. No, these guys come out every weekend, hungry for it, playing you as if it's the last thing that they have to do in this earth. So it's really nice to see if that sort of hunger for the game is shown by cricketers in Trinidad and Tobago, well, just Tobago. To be honest. Most of the guys in Tobago, you'll see a drastic increase in the level of competitiveness that is going to happen in the game in Tobago.
Yeah, and John, in terms of this, obviously I can't let you go without telling the viewers or telling the public about your numbers, because I saw you put the stats up with your hundreds and your 50s, and I saw you got is that a plaque for the player of the season?
Yeah, I got player of the season from Horn Church Athletics. That was the team I played for. If I'm not mistaken, I was probably about 6th on the Essex League in terms of runs, and also 6th when it comes to the bowlers in the whole of the Essex League. So yeah.
Right. Fantastic. I mean, what's next for Javan Alfred? I know that you guys you're part of a new dispensation in Tobago, Tobago Gladiators, of which CMB United, we're gonna come stronger next year for you guys. Yeah. But I'm proud to say that we shared the 40 title this year. Thanks to the Almighty, yeah. So what's next for Javan Alfred?
I have some stuff planned in terms of coaching, because I think I have a passion for it. Not just playing the game anymore. So I've set my sights on doing some coaching. And in terms of Tobago Gladiators, well, we're always looking for ways to improve the club, as it's a new club, and it's not something that we start this year and we're going to forget about it next year. So we want to get bigger and better every year. So our preseason has started. Let's put that out there for the CMB supporters. Yeah. Right. So the preseason has started, so we're just there looking to groom the younger players in the team right now and making sure that the team is in the correct space in order to play the game next year.
So from your stint, what would you say was your greatest lesson learned?
One of the greatest lessons learned while on tour this year. It's okay to fail. So there were games that I thought I didn't contribute enough. Like I didn't put my best effort there, or I didn't get the best out of whatever I did that day. And it's okay, because if I did not feel, or I did perform on that day, I would not have learned any lessons in order to go forward. So all the games on them I would have failed, or getting out probably in the 90s, getting out probably 50 yard, 40 yard duck. Every time I didn't hit a landmark or stuff like that, I went back to the drawing board and I went back to the basics, things that needed to be done in order to be better for the next game.
Right.
So one major take back is it's okay to fail. Failing teaches you. Failure always makes you a better player.
Yes, and John, you felt pressured at all, like being the overseas player, because I'm telling you, that's what they call you, overseas.
Playing cricket in Trinidad, Marcus, you learn to get a lot of talk, learn to take talk. So going to a foreign country and listening to some of the banter that they give you, it's a bit comical if you're batting. So it really, I was not fazed by that, the whole conversations they were having outside of everything that was happening. So I like I said, the people at Hornchurch made me feel so comfortable. I didn't feel like an overseas player. I felt like I was a part of the family. So whether I fail, whether I didn't fail, they still treated me the same way. And that's very good, that on their behalf as well.
Were you the only overseas player?
Yes, I was. I was the only overseas player.
Yeah. And you got an opportunity to see part of the country as well?
Yes, I did. London is a huge place. So to be honest, when I just got there, I didn't go out much because I was afraid of being alone or traveling alone and stuff like that. And you know, when I did build up the courage to start using the train and go to London, it really was an eye-opening experience, because you see things there that probably you dream about. Like I said, you see buildings. I went to a building that was like 100 feet in the air, which is ridiculous. That was I mean, when you look down, you're saying, okay, if it is that something happens up here, that's the end of you.
That's it.
Yeah. But I saw a lot of statues, went to a lot of amusement parks, so it really was a good experience going through the motions there. One thing though, there's a Caribbean section called the Borough Day that I think every Caribbean person should really try to visit if they actually go to London. So that it really was a good experience. Yeah.
I surprised when I asked you what's next for you. You did not mention the Tobago Windball Cricket League, you know.
I know you was going to ask something like that. Roxborough Gunners is always on board for all of your competitions. Mind you, all the setbacks that you may try to give us in terms of your rules and regulations. We will always show up at your tournament, and we're looking forward to it 110%.
Fantastic. I mean, Porter?
Well, Jaron, that's it. Thank you so much for coming on our show, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
It's been my absolute pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Yes, man.
All right, guys, so this is where we have to wrap it. I know, Marcus, we don't really have enough time when it comes to sport, but Marcus, you never told me where you were. I'm waiting.
I'm in the capital of cricket at this time, you know. But yeah, of course, I'm in your hometown. I'm in your hometown to see the Tobago Knight Riders lift their fifth title. I know, John. You like to
you know, it could go the other way too, right? So we just have to wait and see.
Well, I mean, you guys under pressure tonight, isn't it? You guys under pressure tonight.
Well, let me say good morning to Mrs. Jabarali Porter. She will be under pressure because she supports and I support. I'm not going to get into that. Good morning, Mrs. Porter.
But yeah, I'm here for the conclusion of the CPL. It has been one of those CPLs that I'm hoping that it ends well, because I'm seeing some reports that it doesn't augur well for cricket in the Caribbean. That's not what us at all. We are very harmonious people, loving people, and I'm hoping that what I'm seeing on social media is not reality in terms of me being at the venue, because I intend to wear my Tobago Knight Riders jersey and I intend to swing my Trinidad and Tobago flag very high. in support of
You could put a Guyana flag in the other hand too. That's okay. That's not a problem. You might be safe.
But this evening's game between the Talawas and the Warriors, that's going to be a huge one.
Yes.
In terms of me giving my professional opinion, not my personal bias, I see the Talawas coming out victorious in that one. I looked at the Warriors in that game against the Tobago Night Riders, and I felt that they were very dejected following that defeat, because I felt that they wanted to win to get some rest time until the final, but they were shocked. They were shocked by a really well prepared Tobago Night Riders team, because Warriors defeated Tobago Night Riders in the preliminary stages, and then obviously the Tobago Night Riders, they won when it mattered the most, and that was the first playoff game there. So tonight, I can see the best bowling team in the CPL this year. That's the Jamaican Talawas getting the better of the Warriors, and it will be a Jamaican Talawas versus the Tobago Night Riders finals. That's my prediction.
Well, I don't see that, but I guess we could put a wager on that game tonight. I'm gonna back my country, Amazon Warriors. Good luck, guys.
Of course.
So we're gonna be against each other tonight. Anyway, guys, this is where we have to wrap it. Thank you so much for joining us on this sports segment of the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We're gonna be back next Friday. Marcus is gonna be here. Remember, guys, football FA Cup this Saturday. Come out, support the secondary school final. Secondary school games are going on. See if we could support the young ones also. I like to see that. Tobago Sports Lab is going to be there. We're going to try to see how we can continue to cover the events and the sports around. I think they have, Marcus, I think they have hockey. I think they have hockey tomorrow in Shaw Park. I heard something about it. We haven't had Carabao game for a while.
There you go again. Shaw Park is for cricket. Shaw Park is for cricket.
Anyway,
Cricket.
guys, do have a great weekend, wonderful weekend. Marcus, enjoy it. Amazon Wars is going to come out victorious tonight. We know this, right? So, from myself to Marcus, have a great day. Sharon, have a great day too. Bye, guys.
The OCS Summer Internship Program gave us the opportunity to have our first official job experience.
My responsibilities would vary from the assignments that were assigned to us. However, my main responsibility currently is to contact suppliers who would have registered with procurement and tell them about the new system with the OPR where they are to register online.
My biggest responsibility is to learn and observe, and just complete tasks that I'm given. So for the 2 months since I've been here, I have been a part of various projects. The biggest one was the business registrar, where we go around the island basically and we register the businesses of the island basically.
Prior to being granted our own responsibilities at the office, we the interns got the opportunity to learn new skills and enhance our knowledge in different areas of our studies.
I learned what business could be about, because most of the time what I learn in school is sciences. So I never did a business subject or anything like that, so I wasn't aware of what procurement or anything was like that. So when I came to the office and I got into what procurement really meant, I learned a lot of what happens in procuring goods and items for the entire OCS and the THM.
I got a lot of insight about what it means to do economics on a public sector level. I worked alongside people who actually study what I study, and that's probably the most important thing for me, learning from them. I learned from, he wasn't here, but I was informed a lot about Mr. Perry, who is the head statistician at the department.
We had 2 outings. We went to change all the names on the PCs in the department to make it easier to notify them, or if they have a problem on the network, we could understand who it is and where to go. I learned about the different roles in my degree, a lot of jobs I didn't know I could have done, I could do now. So it helped me, navigate a little better career-wise.
My experience when meeting the Chief Secretary, it was pretty insightful. I major in linguistics and education, and he is a fellow linguist himself. So us sharing that commonality was very intriguing and interesting to hear his thoughts as well as his experience in becoming a linguist. He was very intelligent in his delivery, and he was also pretty interested in getting to know the interns on a more personal level.
We thank all the members and staff of the Office of the Chief Secretary and by extension the Tobago House of Assembly for sharing this wonderful experience with us. Team OCS, one family, one love.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.